Juggaeve Carjugale. We are here to support the people of Ballyshannon who are opposed to the imposition of 90 unvetted males, men and women all across the country. People are standing up to oppose the new colonisation of Ireland. What is happening is akin to the plantation of Ulster in the 17th century. Actually, in percentage terms and in number terms, what has taken place in Ireland in the last 20 years even exceeds the plantation of Ulster. Why is this wrong? One, it has huge economic costs for the people of Donegal. Just for next year alone, the government has said it will set aside €4 billion for Ukrainian refugees alone. Have you taken into consideration for the 20,000 at least asylum seekers, and of course then there's 237,000 PPS numbers given out last year. That's almost 250,000 people. And at the same time, only 69,000 were given to Irish people. So if that continues, almost 250,000 every year, year on year, we are currently only 20% by official figures. 1 in 5 people in Ireland are currently non-national, says the CSO. But that figure is much higher because the people who come in illegally, 61% of people coming into Dublin Airport claiming asylum, it is noted that they have no passport. And we know by our common sense that people who come here illegally do not fill in census forms. So that 1 in 5 figure or 20% figure is a huge underestimate. Another detrimental aspect of uncontrolled, unvetted immigration is that there and will be an increase in crime. We can see that last year in Ireland, 12 women were murdered. 5 of those women were murdered by non-nationals. So we don't have to be a genius to realise that when we look at countries of Italy and France and Germany and Sweden, that all throughout these countries there has been mass unvetted immigration has led to an explosion in crime. In Germany, for example, southern Lower Saxony, between 2015 and 16 in 1 year, there was a 10% increase in crime. A government-sponsored study found out that 92% of that was carried out by newly arrived migrants. Swedish national TV, a number of years ago, looked at the conviction rate of Swedish and non-nationals. They found that 58% of all rapes were carried out by non-Swedish nationals. So let's not kid ourselves that what happened in Sweden and in Germany will not also happen in Ireland. The new plantation in the Cavan Garden B&B. At the meeting 2 days ago in Ballyshannon, it came up, someone asked, what is Sinn Féin immigration policy? And of course, someone used one of my old gags, which I'm glad to see. It is Brits out, everybody else in. We cannot, Sinn Féin always knew, and its members still know, that you cannot have an independent, sovereign Ireland when you don't have control of your laws, and you don't have control of your budgets, and you don't have control of your borders. 2013, the Irish budget was seen and approved in the committees of the German Bundestag before it was seen in Dáil Éireann. That is an absolute scandal, which we, no proud Irish man and woman, should ever accept. On regards to the money, we are a net contributor to the EU budget. 2021, we give over €1.1 billion. Since we joined the EU, EU fishing boats have taken 215 billion worth of fish out of our national waters. So the EU, and they say, but we need to be in the EU for trade. Not true. We export 32% of our goods to the US, but we're not in a political union with America. We don't have open borders with the United States. Our Supreme Court, which is now the European Court of Justice, is not situated in Washington, and yet there's only a 6% difference of trade with the EU. So the Irish Freedom Party, we want a sovereign, independent Ireland which works in the interests of Irish people and Irish people alone. We are not put on earth to house, to provide free housing, free medical care, free education to the rest of the world. The Irish government must work for the benefit of the Irish people alone. We are not here to look after and mollycoddle the rest of the world. And when you look at the voting record of Irish MEPs, you will see that they let down Irish farming community especially. Every Irish MEP voted in favour of the Nature Restoration Act, and that many thousands of acres of land will be flooded. Other instances as well, like the Digital Services Act, matters to do with the carbon tax, they all voted for the carbon tax. The carbon tax, what does that do? It makes our milk more expensive, our meat more expensive. It makes it more difficult for farmers to sell their produce. It makes it more expensive for young people to drive to work. It makes it more expensive for old people to heat their home. And yet all the Irish MEPs voted for it. Well, I can assure you that if Michael Leahy in Ireland South and Dermot O'Connor in Dublin are elected to the European Parliament, we will oppose any and every measure which will hurt the interests of Irish people. So that includes opposing anything to do with the carbon tax, any policies to do with this climate alarmism, and in every way we can, repatriation of power back to Ireland, to Dáil Éireann, and to the Irish people. I'd like to thank supporters coming out here to support us in Ballyshannon today. Over the next number of months, myself, Michael Leahy and Dermot O'Connor will be touring the constituencies, making our policies known to the people who are here, who will listen to us, trying to get onto radio and TV and make a case to the Irish people for a sovereign, independent Ireland that works for the benefit of Irish people and not have open borders to the rest of the world of huge numbers of unvetted males, which would make Ireland a less safe and a less secure place for our country. And why should it be, people ask, that as these people are being invited in, being allowed in by the Irish state, and because of EU open borders, that our own young people are well educated, they cannot buy a house, they cannot find an apartment to rent, and yet they are being made or forced almost to emigrate to Australia and Canada, all the while that we are taking in huge number of unvetted males, many with no skills and who contribute nothing to Ireland. Those days of a free-for-all into Ireland has got to stop. So, thank you for coming here today, and I would ask you in 7th of June of 2024 to come out, vote for the Irish Freedom Party, not only to vote for the Irish Freedom Party, but tell also your family, your friends, all your relations to vote for us as well. So, Gora Margata, Slán Hispanic, thank you.